Yeah, but I admire, you know, that you are like in tune with those, because I mean, that's a kind of like a master class in itself, right? To to know those writers that are similar in your element and
Yeah,
in your craft and
right,
everything.
right. And you know, I got into jazz and other genres just like everybody else, like digging in the crates. You know what I'm saying? And even if it wasn't sampled like that, then I realized it was part of my culture. Like I go into salsa crates and stuff like that, right? And just learning about different genres and shit like that. But the more I studied jazz, the more I saw the parallels. It's a lot like hip hop. You know, they deal with creativity. You know, they deal with you have to learn the instrument and then do it uniquely. That's hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so I always saw parallels to how it's sold, how it is abused, all of these things. I saw parallels the same because jazz, aside from being like that foundational music to me of everything, it has such a longer history that you could see different things and patterns and understand certain things and see how hip hop could get certain ways. So a lot of times when I predict certain things, it's just because I know the patterns. I'm seeing certain patterns in other genres.
That came out of jazz.
A lot of patterns out of jazz and then other genres. You know what I'm saying? Other genres, you know? Right? So you could see certain things. Like, I already knew that reggaeton was actually going to happen. Because I was looking at what they were doing in Puerto Rico with playero music. And they just couldn't quite get it down where they could learn how to sample and then realize that a music had to be gritty. Where it was easier to have the cliche or the stereotype that's put on the music that it's for the party only. And so I could see those two things, the difficulty in making the music, sampling and things like that, and then also the party, you know, the party template that is expected of Puerto Rican music, Caribbean music,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Especially Spanish Caribbean music, right? And then it just became reggaeton and, you know, another horrible subgenre.
Yeah, I know you always
I go.
you go in on.
There's
on
nobody
reggaeton,
that, you
man.
know.
And I like reggaeton, man. I like the, you know,
Right.
not that I like to listen to it all the time, but
And I see you symmetry, Gil Scott Heron, yeah, definitely. You know, one of the greats. You know, it's just that when I was studying music, I was going straight to the books. You know, and when I studied jazz, though, I studied jazz from the literature about it, and there's so much. So I was literally checking out two things. I started to listen to jazz and realized I could learn about it because I would fall asleep recording Stretch and Bobbito, and then wake up the next morning and they would have the bird flight. I think that's the name of the program that Phil Shapp had, who was a great journalist and he was a great on-air personality. I always wanted to be like that too, like real details of the music, like know all the liner notes. He knew everything, and he was doing the bird flight. He knew everything about bird. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, the details this guy brings. So I was like, okay. And so when I collected jazz, I never collected anything bad. I was like, every day I was like, I'm going to come out of the store with a classic album. Who we got? And of course I went first with Miles. Miles has always been the man I dig into.
Miles is there.
So everything Miles, and then I branched out from there. And Miles he's the perfect person to branch out from because Miles, he had everybody. He was so great at getting artists, you know, get the, you know, Ron Carter, you know, get the Herbie Hancock. He was able to recruit Wayne Shorter. He was able to recruit so many legends that you get legendary catalogs branching off. You know, John Coltrane. I mean, John Coltrane was on Kind of Blue, like he, you know, Cannonball Adderley. You know, Bill Evans, the pianist, right? Right. So, you know,
that's one of his biggest collaborators.
Right. For like my favorite albums, the Sketches of Spain, Kind of Blue, you know, Miles Ahead, you know, Porgy and Bess. That 1959 year of Miles Davis's, that's the greatest year of recorded music by an artist to me. You know, the greatest. Nobody can.
You never thought about getting into like making beats or anything like that, or? I mean, you have like such a real.
I did. I would have crates though. You know, yeah. You know, I know I could make loop beats though. Because I be doing it all the time. I just keep rewinding. I know I could do that.
I mean,
But yeah, it's something people actually, it's because I know music. When I think of music though, I don't always have a sound that I want to create in my head. And that's what keeps me from venturing. But if I one day do get the equipment, I would probably do something I don't know if it could be rapped on. I just would make music. And try to make music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think it's about just really experimenting. Right?
Sure, yeah.
You have such a library in your mind, right?
Right, yeah. That wouldn't be a problem. Would be getting crates and things that people haven't heard. Right. That wouldn't be a problem.
I'm pretty sure you already have like hard drives of music, right?
Of course, yeah.
So you probably don't have to go anywhere. You just you just go straight to your hard drive.
Yeah, definitely with the crates, yeah. But it is something I do think about. Just as the joy of it, I'm sure I would have a great joy in doing that. You know?
I mean, it's therapeutic for me. You know, like
right.
I just like
whether
somebody's gonna rhyme on it or not. You know what I'm saying? And just
A lot of people don't get that. Like the world of writing to me is so endless to me that it's hard to venture out into anything else. There are instruments I play. Like I'll fool around with instruments and learn little rudimentary things of it. Like I do mess around with the harmonica, and people that know me because I love salsa, I play a mean maraca though. You know, like it's not just shaking it though. I get the roll on them. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to play like the vegetables in salsa, like the little vegetables, the guido and all that kind of stuff. You know, I do want to play. I do want to learn how to play bongos because I've always loved bongos my whole life. You know what I mean? Like my whole adult life. When I started collecting music for real, you know. Yeah,
because when I listen to you build and you go into your mental library of music, I always wonder like, well, all right, what if you were to sample or if you were to create music, what would that sound like? What, especially nowadays, with the software.
I would probably, I would tell you, I would probably start with genres that I think aren't mine. You know,
genres that aren't yours,
aren't really used,
okay,
that I don't see being used. So it wouldn't. For people that like on my free time, like most of the stuff I write though is usually inspired by soul music. That's usually what I'm listening to. And I always tell people if I had my choice, I'd be a soul singer. I wouldn't be no damn rapper. You know, I'd be singing Donny Hathaway. I'd have Donny Hathaway's voice easily. But the genre I probably would tap into would probably be salsa, because it was the most aggressive that has not been mine. You know.
Is that that's what you grew up with though, right?
I could say that I didn't grow up with any music. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was a kid, it was really just music that was around me, but I didn't get to choose the music I liked. So I grew up really with oldies around me. Doo-wop was what my father listened to. And because he listened to the oldie station for the doo-wop, I heard a lot of Motown. You know, so my favorite type of music growing up though was always the soul ballad. Whatever soul ballad it was, that was what I loved the most, you know? Even to this day, I judge a soul singer by the ballads that they have, you know?
If Mega did this.